Dammy. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
I'll be the one to take the risk to go and get them bands. I'll be the one to never sit and go and make a plan. Knowing my mother getting older now, got no time. Gotta keep a couple for the road, the rest get left behind. Yeah. To the 100 pledge allegiance I stand. I'm gon' pull forward in the fucking white sand. I give it all to the fucking mic stand. If it's been done before, then I know I can. I'm on the rise, I'm trying to keep a level head.
There you go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's the deal, y'all? Hope all is well. Welcome back to another episode. I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jalon, and this is another episode of Nice and Neat. How y'all fellas doing, man?
I feel amazing, man.
Ooh, I'm feeling good, man.
I feel really good too.
Your
really
energy
good.
feel good.
Does it?
What's going on, bro?
You know what, man? I don't want to tap too much into what we're gonna be talking about today. I just got back from a vacation.
Okay.
Me and my lady went on a vacation.
Okay.
How was
You know,
Spill the tea.
went to it is Cinco de Mayo. We didn't go to Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo, by the way. Cinco de Drinko, if you're from LA, y'all know how we get down.
Happy Cinco de Mayo. Shout out to all the brown people, man.
Come on, shout out to y'all. We
Hey, I can do that, cause I went to school a bunch of
I'm not even gonna go hard. I was gonna go hard. No.
Chill, Saints. Chill.
I just got back from Jamaica, bro. Just got back from Jamaica. It was amazing. I needed a break. And, we're in a long distance relationship. Mm-hmm, so, like, traveling for us is like a really, really big thing. You know what? Speaking of today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to continuously keep your relationship spicy, how to have fun. And obviously we could speak to the situations that we're in currently and, things that we've done in our relationship that we just know was a home run. So fellas, you're going to be giving out a lot of game today.
Okay. I mean, that's what we do, man. We drop jewels, we give out game. 4 seasons now, man.
4 seasons.
We damn near got about 50 episodes of game, free game that we giving away on YouTube.
God's work, right?
Spotify.
God's work, right?
God's work, right?
Apple Podcasts, wherever you want to receive it at,
The game is there.
The game is there.
Before we go any further, if you look at O has Law 17 classic leather bucket hat on. I have a Law 17 signature L trucker hat, camo, all right? And you guys are nice and neat, fam. So what I'm doing, all right, I'm giving you guys 20% off.
Woo! 20%
right now.
We didn't even plan this. This is
20% off right now. Anything on the Law 17 website, if you go to law17.com, we're going to place it right here. All right, we're going to put law17.com, 20% off. Use code nice and neat 20%. All right.
Thank you.
Use code nice and neat 20. All right, nice and neat 20. Use code nice and neat 20, and you're gonna be able to get anything off the website right now for 20% off. All right.
We've gotten away from the shameless plugs, man. We got to get back on the shameless plugs, bro.
We got to get back.
So make sure you go to Law 17. Make sure you go to law17.com right now and get everything off for 20% off.
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you about the Law 17 discount. I took advantage of it before.
Hello.
I took advantage of the discount before. The hat was on the site. I seen that he just posted a sale on his story. So I said, hey, I actually need this price.
I need that one.
I need this price, bro.
Yes, we do pay for our friends' things. We do support our friends.
Absolutely.
We pay full price. So when I seen the sale, I took advantage of that.
Absolutely.
I took my hat too to Jamaica as well. Speaking of Jamaica, I took my hat to Jamaica. I had some fits.
How were the patties?
They were fire. Things are really spicy in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't like spicy.
I don't like spicy though.
I hate spicy stuff.
I don't like spicy.
Well, you've been to Jamaica too, right? How do y'all deal with that?
I'm not a spicy guy.
Because the jerk chicken, oh man, like I could eat the jerk chicken and patties all day.
Are you a chicken patty or beef patty person?
I mean, technically the beef patties are better, but because of my lifestyle and my regiment, I'm a chicken guy.
Okay.
Right? But I'm not going to hold you. The beef patties be slamming.
Chicken head.
Chicken head too.
I mean, I'm a beef patty guy.
Yeah.
I'm a beef patty guy. I like the beef patties. I had a lot of beef patties out there. Man, we had a lot of fun. We went for her birthday, took her out there for her birthday. We had an incredible time. It was probably the best vacation we ever taken.
That's amazing, bro.
But man, one thing about us, we travel. Like that's really, it's a part of our love language. And I think it goes into what our long distance is, and you know, like having a long distance relationship and just trying to keep it fun, trying to keep it spicy, trying to keep each other just excited.
Yeah.
You know,
about each other.
Exactly. Because like when we visit each other in each other's cities, like we really just be with each other.
For sure.
Sit down, chill out. So when it's time to travel, we travel. We have a lot of fun. So like I said, we're going to be talking about different ways in this episode that you can keep your relationship spicy as a man, for sure. And women, I'm sure you're listening. So you also can participate in these things as well. Don't think they're just exempt to men going out and doing these things. So fellas, what's some of the things y'all have done in y'all relationship? Because I know y'all done a lot because we talk about these things.
Yeah.
Y'all done a lot.
Yeah.
What's some of the things y'all do in your relationship, man? Just go ahead and keep it spicy and make sure you can keep that twinkle in your lady's eyes.
That twinkle.
And the twinkle is important.
It's important, bro.
The twinkle is important. The second that either one of y'all loses the twinkle is when.
Or the roller coaster feeling.
Yeah. You want to keep that. That's an important feeling. You know, I think I would like to touch on, because you mentioned traveling, right? And I know a lot of our listeners and viewers may not always be able to travel, or sometimes traveling gets expensive, especially right now. I don't know if you guys seen the prices of.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, right? So I think one thing that I truly enjoy is the staycation vibes, you know, and I kind of touched on that like on our Instagram, like maybe a few months ago. But I think staycations are awesome, right? You can't afford to travel, or maybe you guys don't have the time in your schedule to really go out the country for 4 days. It's nothing to change up the scenery, hit up the freeway about an hour and a half, find a spot, nice location, and post up and just enjoy. Like, the change of scenery will do wonders for both of you guys, even though it's in the same state, right? But just being able to get away, pack a bag. I think that's what it is. It's packing that bag.
It's packing a bag.
Yeah. You pack that bag, you hit the road. It adds a new dynamic to the relationship, and it keeps it fun. It keeps it fresh. You put yourself in a different neighborhood, a different city where you don't know the restaurant.
It's exciting. It's like
it's
we're
exciting
going somewhere.
Because we gotta go explore. We gotta go explore now, man. And I think that's one thing that me and Candace, we truly enjoy. Like, we've been to freaking Dana Point, Santa Barbara. We drove to Vegas. You know, we could easily fly, but we take a trip to Vegas, you know, even like going deep into the IE, like where I'm from, you know, just like change.
Y'all hit the Bay yet?
Huh?
Y'all hit the Bay yet?
We haven't hit the Bay yet. One thing that we really want to do is do Napa, you know, and really hit wine country. And check, that's definitely on our bucket list for sure. You know, but I think staycations are important, man. It's a great way to keep it fresh, keep it funky, and everyone's excited. You know what I'm saying? It's, like I said, just packing that bag and like, oh man, we're going somewhere, and it's gonna be new, it's gonna be fresh. You know, I think that's one thing. That's one of the many ways that I try to spice up my relationship.
You know, it's so many different ways to go about it, you know, and every relationship and every partnership and every man and woman is different, you know. But I think for me, on a as far as like the activity goes on a much smaller scale, but it's still impactful, is I actually write letters. Ooh. Yeah, I write a lot to Chanel, you know, and I mean, we live in the same house, and I still write to her, right? And I think it's a really underrated thing that a lot of us kind of don't do, just because, you know, we have our smartphones and, you know, everything's so fast, and a lot of us, I mean, you'd be surprised, a lot of us can't even tell you the last time we've actually written a letter, right? Written anything except like some scribble. But I just try to keep things spicy and interesting by the way I use my words and the way I communicate with her. And it doesn't always have to be good. You know, sometimes I can communicate that I'm not happy in a way that is interesting to her, right? So instead of me just saying, yo, I don't like that you did something, I can actually write it on paper so it can kind of give her time to experience the emotion I'm feeling, you know, and really like take her through the story, you know. And I think those things are important, and it's just finding little things like that, you know, for me at least, when I brought it to our relationship, I was just thinking about what a lot of guys weren't doing. I just thought about what do I know dudes that she's been with in the past haven't done? You know, what can I do that is going to make me stand out? What's going to excite her? Because she gets to partake in something that she's never knew either. You know, I think she really enjoys that. So I would say We have a notebook, right? We call it the communication book in our house. And anytime I'm feeling any kind of feeling, it could be happy, sad, whatever, right? As long as it's authentic and real, I put it down in the book. She reads it. We have a system, right? Where if I'm, first of all, the date has to go on it, right? I had to put a date on it so when we look back years from now, we can kind of visualize where we were. And we write it. It has to be written in pen. It can't be written in pencil. You can't erase anything. You have to scribble. You can't tear out any pages. Those are the rules because we want it to be 100% authentic, right? And then when I write down and when she writes down, the rule is after you read it, you got to put a small heart in the corner to let the other person know that you've read it, right?
Okay.
So when I come back in the house or I look at the notebook after I see the note, when I come in the house and I see the note, and I know she's read it because she made a mark, right? So those are the little things that we do to just kind of keep our relationship interesting, man. It's just kind of a different, cool way of communicating. And then also, man, you know, still sticking with like the small, impactful things, right? Because we always hear women talk about, man, I just want a guy who's just does the small stuff or who just shows me that he cares. And, you know, a lot of guys, we be just thinking like, yeah, right. Y'all don't think like that, right? So I tried that shit. So I'm like, you know what? One year for her birthday, I mean, I did get her some ice though. I got her some ice for her birthday though, right? But 1 year for
Women love diamonds.
women love diamonds.
Clarify ice.
Clarify the ice. We gotta talk about cubes.
Yeah,
Women
come
just throwing
on.
a cup.
Women love diamonds. I got her some ice for her birthday, but that's besides the point, right? So 1 year,
Shameless plug.
I was like, I want to do something for her that's just really heartwarming, right? So I took the time to create this like book. It was she was turning 27, and I went and printed out 27 pictures of her off her Instagram, things that we've taken, and I wrote a note on each and every one of the pictures, right? And then I put like little games inside the pictures, little clues, little word puzzles and stuff. Got some hole punchers, got some yarn, made a little dope ass scrapbook, right? And I gave it to her for her birthday, and it was probably to this day one of the most emotional times, right? Or just an emotional experiences that I've ever seen with her, because she was just like, wow, no one's ever done this before, right? And it's those little things, right, that guys, if they would just like think outside the traditional, I'm just gonna buy you some nice shoes box, they would probably be able to get that reaction.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think those things like that really spice up relationships.
Man, that made me think about something else that I use to spice up my relationship. Before I even talk about that, I want to hear like ways that you use to spice up your
Oh
relationship.
man, dog! You know the long distance thing is it's an interesting place to be. It's a very interesting place to be because, you know, as things happen in your relationship, like let's say disagreements or you know, just a tough time to communicate where body language may be real important. Like you really have to rely on your words. And, you know, the shortest distance between two people is communication. And a lot of time that distance and that gap is really far. And not just in the actual physical distance, but it's just hard to connect to people sometimes when you can't see them and you can't feel them. You don't know what's going on. So, you know, we have to find out so many different ways to where we can communicate with one another outside of just on the phone or just text message. So like every single day we have this thing called a success journal. So our success journal is Duke talking about, you ain't the only one that's writing, brother. Okay. So our success journal, it's 100 pages. It's 100 pages. It's 100 days. So every single morning you wake up, you write your intention, whether it's something that has to do with your job, whether it's something that has to do personal, or, you know, or even if it's just leisure. It just gets you in the habit of writing in your journal, and then we're each other's accountability partners. So we talk about it. Like, oh, okay, cool. So what's your intentions for the day? Like, what do you have set up? Oh, okay, cool. So then at the end of the day, since we're talking all day anyways, were you able to accomplish what you set out? Like, yeah, it was. And, you know, one of the things in there as well that I like, it's a specific section that says, you know, things you did for yourself. And then it says things to do for others. So, you know, a lot of times, like, one of them may be just something as simple as like, you know, for myself, get to the gym. You know, I know that's something that I could do for myself. And then do for others, for sure, every single month, like I send her flowers. So one of those days is send her flowers sometimes, you know, and I don't necessarily tell her exactly what it was that I did. So kind of keep the excitement alive to where when she getting flowers and she didn't know, like, oh wow. I've sent, ever since we've been together, I've sent her flowers every single month. Every single month.
The day is not the same.
No.
So there's still the element of surprise.
It's still an element of surprise. Like, I actually have a relationship with the florist out there. Oh yeah,
you better.
Oh, for sure. She calls me and she's like, hey, so do you want to send Brittany some flowers today? Like, actually, yes, I do. Thank you for the email. Thank you for the phone call. Thank you for all those things. So we have our success journal and we write in that. It helps me like stay really in tune with her life. Because it's easy to, and I'm sure Duke can speak to this. Duke had a long distance relationship for a good amount of time. It's easy to be only as connected as the phone allows you to be to somebody when you're in a long distance relationship, or even when you're not even with your partner, you know? So trying to find different ways to be able to like fully connect. Yeah. Like when Duke was talking about writing letters is great. Whether you live with your partner or you don't, the fact that you guys live together and you write letters, player, pick that up. Flowers, very important. Again, like you said, the small things.
Yeah. But even just like to the long distance play, right? Because I know there's probably people watching right now, listening right now, that are probably doing a long distance thing too. But something as small as, man, I've been in the barbershop all day, or she been at the nail salon, or you know, the hair salon all day. Okay, well, let me order you some food that's gonna be there when you get home, or how long you gonna be there? What's the address? Let me order you some food. So doing things like that, like she could order her own food, right? But it definitely makes you feel good. It's like, oh yeah, my girl just took care of that, or my man just took care of that. So doing little things like that, it's like, you know, there's like a saying, right? It's a bunch of small blows. Right, just a bunch of small blows end up being like the biggest impact, right? As opposed to waiting for that one big knockout splash, punch. You know. So just small jab, small jab, and things like that, or the small jabs is gonna get the job done for sure in the end, right? A lot of people think that they got to do the knockout punch, they got to buy some fire like expensive ass purse, you know, just because social media tells us that. But it's the small jabs that's gonna like ultimately sustain your relationship. You know,
I feel like we're about to segue, so I just want to let y'all know, and the viewers and listeners know, that y'all not the only brothers that be writing. Right, so let me give y'all some game. Let me give y'all some game and a tip, fam. So like another thing that me and Candace do.
Hey, we've never talked about this either.
Never. So let me give you some game that we do. We take Post-its, 3, okay, and on the Post-its, on one Post-it you write one thing that you like about your partner, and this could be for the week or whatever. One thing that you love about your partner, and then one thing that turns you on. And these things, I mean, you can't write the same thing every week, right? And you put them in a pot or bowl or whatever, right? And at the end of the week, you guys read them out loud together, right? So I read hers, she reads mine, right? And that, right? Cool. And I can't even take credit for that.
Cool.
Our therapist put us on that. Oh, it's so player.
That's cool.
It's so player. So talking about, and like I said, every week it's got to change, fam. So it's like, what do I like about her this week? What do I love about her this week?
So
what
you gotta
turns
ask
me?
your question. You gotta ask yourself.
You gotta ask yourself.
So when we say turning on, we talking about like, yo, what make me want to take it there?
Absolutely.
What made me want to jump your bone?
Absolutely. And then reading it in front of her and in front of me. That's that's a whole nother level.
Okay.
I mean that could you could take it there right
Where
there.
y'all be reading it at?
We could read it in the bedroom,
living room.
It don't matter.
Shit, we can read
it don't
in the
matter
car.
because after you read it, that you know.
So it get lit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man balls.
We talking about spicy.
Spicy.
We talking about spicy.
Yeah. So that was something we learned in therapy, man, and that's something that's been very what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It's just been really great for our relationship. You know what I'm saying? For a lack of better words.
Yeah, you know, I think everyone should do this, right? Is the easiest way to spice up your relationship, hands down, is to take your girl and be around other couples. It's the easiest way. All right, if you just double date, it's the easiest way to spice a relationship because you immediately get perspective that's different than yours and hers, right? So it gives you a chance to disagree, agree, have conversations, or say, man, look, he feels like that. I'm not the only one. And she gets to say, she feels like that. I'm not the only one, and then it creates a dynamic of conversation and a dynamic of community to build upon, right? I think it's the easiest way to like spice up everyone. I've never been out with her and another couple and we didn't have an amazing time.
That's a fact.
I don't think I've ever.
I
don't think that's ever happened, because it's just a different. It's just a different perspective that we add into our mix, that makes just the conversation and the mindset and just the chemistry just go all over the place, and that is therapeutic.
I think that just means you with the right person for you, because it's times. Like, forget other couples. Like, it could just be times where we just out and like I see a group of single chicks and I'd be like, I'm glad my girl's not her or them.
Wow.
I'm really happy what I have right here, you know. Or she might go out and she'd call me and be like, babe, like, I really love you.
I appreciate you.
I really appreciate you.
That's a call of appreciation.
Because it's just like, you know, the guys that I see now, that ain't it.
Yeah.
That ain't it. And you start to sit back and you start thinking like, wow, my person really is the prototype of the person I want. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Like, it's super cool. Like, I sit back and just like, man, this is the person that I want. I want this person, you know? So I think when you could kind of come from a place of this is what I want, it helps you get more creative when it comes to like the spicing up. Like for like you said, going on outings,
yep.
Right? So I know when we're together, Friday nights, our date nights, Sunday, cooking at the house. Like, that's just what it is. Those are the rules. Them the rules, right? So Friday nights, we go out. We know that I know she going to be looking good for me. I'm going to be looking good for her. That's another thing, too. I think it's extremely important. Look as flawless as you possibly can for your partner.
All the time.
All the time.
I mean, that's
when I say all the time, I don't mean like you're walking around in the house and like, no, put them fake. No. Like when you guys have your
show out.
When it's the same exact way you will be when you go out with your girls, show out for your man the same way. Don't just be like, oh, it's just a date night. Let me just go put a bun in.
Don't do that.
Nah, like
don't play yourself.
I'm you know, when I pull out the scrubber for the shoes, like, oh yeah, I'm scrubbing my shoes tonight. Mm-hmm. I'm getting ready. My clothes is laid out. You see, I laid out my clothes the night before because I want to be ready. That's an old tip right there.
Come on,
laid
man.
out the clothes the night before because I want to be ready. You know, I want you to be able to see the effort that I put in to make sure that I'm looking amazing for our time to hang out. You know, like the same effort that I would put in if I was a single dude about to go run the streets. Like, put that same effort into your girl.
It's funny you say that because what I was gonna say is like you still got to court when you're in the relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The courting doesn't stop once you get in a relationship.
That's the beginning.
That's the beginning. It's like, yo, every day I gotta prove to you that we belong together. You know what I'm saying? That like you are my person, you and vice versa. Like, so men, women, neither one of us could lose sight of that once we enter the relationship. You still be on your shit. You should still be getting the fresh cuts. Women should still be getting manicures, pedicures, hair done, feet, all of those things. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like
passive spice.
That is passive spice.
You don't have to. It ain't no moment. It's just constantly.
Constant.
I'm constant.
It's constantly.
It's spicy.
It's spicy.
Forget spice it up.
It's spicy.
No,
that's real.
Yeah.
No, that's real.
Look, so
constantly making them deposits.
I'm gonna ask y'all. You guys, I'm sure. Have you ever sent a lady a drink before?
Yeah.
You've sent a lady a drink before.
Yeah.
Sent a lady a drink before. Okay, cool. So let me tell y'all something I did. A couple of weeks ago was her birthday. I wasn't able to be with her for her birthday was during the week, so the weekend before she was with her homegirls. They all went out to dinner. They was in Miami. They all went out to dinner, and I was like, man, I'm not gonna be able to be there, but like, how can I like be there? How can I be there?
How can my presence?
So, you know, we talk every day. So asking questions to your partner, they're not even thinking twice about it.
I'm getting a drop on your ass.
Come on, fam. Yo, baby, so where you eating at?
I know where you going.
Okay, cool. Okay, what time y'all going to go eat? Okay, you going to be ready by then? Like, yeah, all right, for sure. Cool. All right, so that's the reservation. That's the restaurant. Cool. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure I put some money on the bill, but I'm going to make sure everybody get a round of shots as soon as they sit down. Mm-hmm. As soon as they sit down. So as soon as they sit down, they get a round of shots. I get a phone call like, wow, babe, thanks so much. The girls say, thank you. I appreciate it. And it's like, I look at it.
Player.
Come on now.
Player.
Come on now.
So
I didn't even tell y'all about that.
So player.
So I look at it like this. when we out and we're trying to meet a chick, we sending her drinks. We trying to show her how fly our fit is. We trying to let her see who we can be. Why not actually be that person with your girl? That's what really makes it fun, because it's like, I don't got to hold back. I don't got to get looked at as thirsty. I don't got to get looked at as that. I don't got to hold back. So like, man, I ain't going to hold you. I'm full throttle, foot on the gas. I'm always going above the speed limit with my girl.
Come on now.
With that said, sorry.
It's going to cut me off like that?
Sorry.
Man.
With that said, yo, welcome back to the Nice and Neat Halftime Show. I'm your host, Omar, man. You guys know what we like to do here. We like to have great conversation, drop game, share knowledge and experiences. And I hope y'all have been enjoying the first half. But one of my favorite parts of the show is Dim the Rules. And I'm very excited about this segment today. Duke, talk to us, man. What we got?
Yeah, man. So I think this Dim the Rules is pretty fitting, right? I think we were talking off camera before the show, and the conversation kind of led us somewhere. And I said, oh, that's a perfect one right there. So the question, all right, fellas, the question, we often hear a lot about the word thirsty, right? It's thrown around a lot to describe men trying to get at women. And I want to ask y'all, man, first, what does thirsty mean? Okay, what does the word thirsty mean? How do you define thirsty in terms of approaching a woman? All right, or in terms of just approaching anybody, whatever, right? How do you define thirsty? And then two, is it possible to be thirsty if thirst is reciprocated? Okay, so first, let's define thirsty.
I see what you did there.
The answer to your second question is very easy. But first, what is thirsty?
What is thirst?
I feel like the word thirsty is a new word within the culture over like the past decade. And I feel like thirst I feel like the word interest like transcended into thirst. You know, because
is it synonymous? Interest and thirst is synonymous?
I think so.
Not all the time.
Is that what you're saying right now?
Not all the time. I know what I was saying.
Okay, but not all the time.
Not all the time.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna let my brother go
Yeah,
ahead.
let me get it off though.
Okay,
Let me get it
okay.
off though. And I feel like, you know, anytime you're interested in a woman and you're pursuing a woman, anytime you're pursuing a woman, you're showing interest, right? Mm-hmm. Now, if the woman is not feeling the pursuit, all right, well then I guess the interest then turns into thirst, right? But I feel like initially they both start out in the same lane, right?
Oh, okay.
Like my thirst is interest. That's all it is.
Okay.
It's an enormous amount of interest in a person that I want to pursue.
Okay.
You know, now if this person is not feeling it, does not rocking with me, you know, then of course she's gonna perceive the interest as thirst, you know? But every man is quote unquote thirsty about a woman, right? Mm-hmm. You thirsty about your woman. Mm-hmm. She will never say that because she enjoys you.
She enjoys the thirst.
She enjoys the thirst. So it's always, man, my man is so interested in me. You know, vice versa. And same for you.
All these great adjectives.
You know,
assertive, confident,
assertive.
A man.
A man.
You know, they used to call me man growing up.
A man. You know, so for me, that's what thirst is. You know, it's just an enormous amount of interest in somebody that I really want to pursue. What you think?
You can't be thirsty though. So in the event that a woman is not interested in you, right?
And you're still interested?
No. So like, from your experience,
okay.
Do women call men who they're not interested in thirsty just because they're not interested in? Yes.
Wait, say that one more time.
Are you automatically thirsty if I'm not interested in you as a woman?
Automatically.
It's thirsty or interested.
It's thirsty or interested. It's one or the other. It's very black and white.
You know, y'all just made me think about something. I don't think thirst comes with creativity.
Okay. Explain.
I'm gonna tell you why. Can I use you for an example?
Go ahead,
please. I'm pointing at Duke for all of the listeners. Duke did something dumb thirsty, but it wasn't thirsty because it was creative and she wanted it.
That's true.
So
It's crazy. She didn't even know she wanted it.
she didn't even know she wanted
She
it.
didn't even know she
but when
wanted
you
it.
pull up, let's insert some of those. Let's insert some of those adjectives. When you pull up and you got confidence and you assertive, it eliminates the thirst. It eliminates the perception of what all thirst is a perception.
Yes.
It's not thirst is never an objective thing. Like, oh yeah, he's thirsty. Nah, it's a perception because all of us have done something, quote unquote, to get our girls that will be looked at as thirsty.
So thirst is not subjective. You said it's objective.
No, thirst is subjective.
It's subjective.
It's not objective.
Right. Okay.
It's not. It's because the same
It's all
person.
depending on the person.
Yeah, it all depends on the person. Like for example, who would I be to call you thirsty for the act that worked?
Can't.
If it worked, it's not thirsty.
If it
never
worked, it's
thirsty.
not thirsty, right? But somebody could do the same exact thing. So if you guys don't know the story, how Duke met Chanel, it's on their YouTube.
Well, I was about to say, yeah, where is it? So they could go back and watch that.
The story is on our YouTube channel, Chanel and Duke. It's like the first or second video on YouTube. You can go check it out.
And it's on there. Long story short, Duke pulls up to where Chanel's working at, bags her.
I knew she was going to be.
He knew she was going to
from
be
the
there,
internet.
and she didn't tell him.
I've been tagged along.
From the internet.
I even
As a
tagged
matter of
along.
fact,
I was there for the whole
As a matter
thing.
of fact, if it didn't work, O would have probably called me thirsty. Maybe.
I don't know, because
Nah,
I like to
'cause
play.
it-
I like to
uh-uh.
play.
Maybe.
I like to play.
I like to
didn't
play.
work.
I like to play.
I
I like to play. If it didn't work, I would have been like, man.
But it worked,
It's just
though, so
unfortunate.
I guess
But
we'll
I would
never
have never
know.
called you thirsty.
I guess we never know.
I guess we'll never know.
So what's the question exactly, Duke? Let's
So
me
the
and
question-
O, we're gonna answer it
so
straightforward for
you
you.
guys definitely define what is thirsty. All right, I think
Okay.
we're clear on that. And the other question was, is it possible to be thirsty if thirst is reciprocated?
Yeah, and that kind of aligns with what my answer was to the first question.
Right.
So I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? If it's reciprocated, it's never thirsty.
It's never
It's
thirsty.
never thirsty.
Yeah, nah. If it's reciprocated, it can't be thirsty. Y'all thirsty for each other? You guys
Yeah.
are thirsty in a relationship? Y'all thirsty happy?
But that's actually amazing if you guys are thirsty for
if
each
y'all
other.
thirsty for each other in a relationship, like that's what people say goals.
Straight up.
So essentially, you
Straight
could
up.
really, so you could really, in the pursuit of a woman, you can really try anything and do anything you want as long as it works.
Anything goes. Anything.
And if it works, it's always the right move.
Just know, like, just as humans, right? You can't come in setting that kind of precedent. Like, just know if you come in here off the wall, like doing shit that's like, quote unquote, thirsty to get her interest, and it's
Yeah.
working, you got to maintain that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't get into the relationship
maintain that.
and then stop doing that.
Okay.
Hey, you gonna lose your girl.
Okay, I got another question, y'all. I got another question. All right, let's talk about. I know we short on time, but
Who cares? Who
Just off the
cares?
cuff.
listen,
Who
check it
cares?
out. You meet a girl. All right, you meet a girl out, and you exchange numbers. She gives you her number. Yeah, text me. Hit me up tomorrow, or hit me up in a few days, or whatever. All right, you say, okay, cool. I'm feeling her. I want to see what's up, and you call her. All right, you call her. She doesn't answer. Okay, and then you text her, say, hey, what's up? Just calling, trying to see what's up. How are you? And she doesn't answer. Okay? And then you text again maybe the next day. Hey, what's going on? What, in your opinion, is the limits to where you decide, okay, I'm not reaching out anymore?
You got this?
You said call, text,
Call, text.
call, text, double text.
Double
Calls.
text. Call first.
Call first, double text.
Absolutely.
It is the first. Okay, I know he said double text, like it back, but like, but like, is the first text after the call, or it's like, is it call then the next day text?
No,
Yeah,
I say
is it text, call, text?
Like, I think we got to be clear about that.
You motherfuckers is confused.
Is it text, call?
But
Is it text, call, text?
Let's just say I call you at 12 p.m. and I text you at 2 p.m.
Okay.
I want. If it's, I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna tell you just this part. If it's text, call, that's it.
Oh, for
text,
sure.
call.
Text, call.
It's over. It's over. Moving on.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Text, call, text. It's over too.
Nah, too many rules, bro.
No. Why is it too many rules to you not responding to me? That's not too many rules. Because this is the thing. Because now if I, Somebody might be like, what? It's too many rules. Now, if I text again, I'm the thirsty guy. No. Me, I don't care about the word thirsty. It's if I don't feel a common interest. Because some people work. Some people are busy.
Right.
Some people do things.
Got you.
If I, over the span of anywhere from 2 days to 4 days, have text, call, text, call, text, text, call, text.
Whatever variation you want. Whatever variation you want.
And I haven't heard back. Your interest isn't there.
Yeah, it's not there.
Right? And when I say your interest isn't there, I'm not saying like I'm never talking to you again. Now it is up to you.
The ball's in your court.
The ball is fully in your court.
Because I've expressed myself.
I've expressed myself.
Okay.
I've already got my 8-second backcourt violation.
And I didn't do the bare minimum of the one text.
I didn't do the bare minimum.
Okay.
I didn't just hit you with a follow on Instagram, say you didn't follow me back. She don't like me.
Yeah.
I didn't do that. You gave me your number, so why don't we use it?
Okay.
Ooh.
The rules are, there's no such thing. You can't be thirsty if it's reciprocated.
Cannot.
All right. And no, what's the limit? Let's just give a general limit on the text. Let's give call, text. How many times you reaching out before you just say, I'm not reaching out no more?
Three strikes you out.
Yeah, I think that's it right there.
Yeah, 3 strikes you out.
You heard it there, man. You heard it there. And DM
The rules.
Yes, sir.
With that said, man, we're going to conclude this week's halftime show and get to the rest of the show the only way we know how. That's with some positive energy, some positive vibrations, and a smile, of course. Second half, man. Let's go.
Man, y'all, so I was thinking about it. We were talking about these great adjectives. We're talking about like us being assertive and having confidence, right? So I can think of a time where it was probably the most assertive I've ever been in my life. They say typically you're going to be assertive with the things that you want. So me and my current girlfriend, at this time, we were just talking.
Mm-hmm.
We was just talking, and we got to the point where we talking every single day. And I'm like, yo, I like her. She like me. I feel it. But yet we still haven't really, because keep in mind, again, we're long distance. So when we're talking on the phone, talking on FaceTime, talking on social media. We're not meeting up with each other. And I was like, yo, we got to figure out, like, in my head, I'm thinking like, yo, we got to figure like a way to meet up. And we were talking, I was in the process of building out the last shop that I built out, and I was just burnt out. I was tired. I needed a vacation. And we were talking about like taking a vacation, just like no specific dates, no locations, nothing. Just we were talking about taking a vacation. So I was like, you know what? I want to go on a trip, and I want her to go. I want to go on a trip. I want her to go. I know we talked about it, but I want her to go. Mm-hmm. So I also know that I remember we went to this WizKid concert.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So earlier in that summer, I bought 2 tickets. And fellas, whenever you buy tickets to a concert, get 2. Even if you're single, get 2.
Straight up.
Always get 2.
Gang.
For sure.
Always get 2. I bought 2 tickets. Didn't know who I was taking at the time. The concert just so happened to fall on the same weekend that I wanted to take this trip. So when it was time for the concert, I was like, okay, the concert is about 2 weeks away. I know that this is the person I'm talking to. This is who I want to take. She doesn't live here though. She lives elsewhere. She doesn't live here in LA where the concert is. So I was like, all right, how we gonna swing this? I was like, I do want to take this trip though. So what I did was I bought 2 round trip tickets to Cabo. So bought those tickets to Cabo. And we were leaving from LA, right? So I also bought her a ticket to come to LA so we could go to the concert the night before. Keep in mind, I didn't tell her about this. Mm-hmm. So I bought them, and then I just sent her to the itinerary in the morning. Like, yo, like this is what I got lined up.
Yeah.
Wait, you sent the itinerary once she got to LA?
No. I sent her the itinerary 2 weeks before.
Okay.
I sent her the itinerary 2 weeks before. And keep in mind, I'm not a flight buying dude.
Yeah.
I don't be buying flights. She's not a girl who actually this is the first time somebody's ever bought her a flight. I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. But I was just like, you know what? This is where we at with it. So I bought the flight, and I was like, you know what? If she comes, then I know what it is. And if she don't,
I know what it is.
I know what it
ain't.
I know what it is, and I know what it ain't.
Touche.
Right? So the concert comes, bro. She ends up flying in the day of the concert, go to the concert, have an incredible time. That night, I made her my girlfriend.
Okay.
That night, I made her my girlfriend. The next morning, we fly out to Cabo, have an incredible trip. incredible trip, phenomenal. And we didn't even do nothing. We literally just chilled out, listened to the waves, and just really like connected with each other. Just bonded. So somebody on the outside, like let's say for example, she said no to the trip. I look thirsty. And she say no, I look thirsty.
Do you?
Why wouldn't I?
Like you did too much.
It's like, oh man, he
look
doing,
like
because look, a girl pick up the phone and call her homegirl. He doing too much. He trying to do this. He trying to take me here. I don't know him like that. And this is it.
But that's not your situation though. You had already been talking to her. So like I find it hard to believe she call you thirsty for that. Or say you doing too much.
Well, you never know, because maybe she didn't feel comfortable taking that next step with him at that point.
Let's not look at the end result. Let's look at where we was at. We was talking. We was talking.
Yo, I would probably say 65, 70% of the women that are talking to a man are willing to take that trip with him.
That's fair.
Like regardless of what they think the future is going to hold.
That's fair. What y'all think? Drop in the comments. Would y'all take the trip? Would y'all take a trip if y'all been talking to a guy and he just came out and said, "Hey, we're going here," and gave you 2 weeks advance?
Keep in mind, we've been talking and we've never. This is the first time we've seen each other face to face.
Okay.
Not the first time y'all seen each other face to face.
Yes, it was. First time.
Okay.
He doing too much.
Wait. Hold up.
Yeah. The first time.
Not the first time.
It's not the first time you saw her.
Face to face and hanging out? Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That might change things.
That's what I'm saying.
That might change
This
things.
is what I'm saying.
But-
You never know, bro. You never know, man, because like it's just that uncertainty that people have.
But
you know?
but I would say, Duke, like, and we know, we've been, we've been fortunate enough to,
be able to court women.
And I know women are willing to go hop on a plane for somebody they don't know all the time. You know what I'm saying? If it's gonna
Especially someone they've been talking to.
if it's someone they've been talking to, if you're gonna provide an experience and provide the fun, if you're gonna provide the vibe,
I'm glad you're saying that. But what
Most
kind
women
of
gonna
what kind
accept
of
that.
women are we talking about though? Because those are two totally different things. Remember I
that's
told
another
you.
discussion.
The worlds that we live in were different at different point in time.
Yeah, that's true.
So like being with your NFL background, oh yeah, that's what she's there for. But when we talking about a woman that's like looking at a man and she's like, look, I'm looking at this man to lead me. I'm looking at this man to make a home for him. And I'm looking at this man to actually be my person. Oh, women ain't just getting on any plane for that.
Wow.
It's
That's a
different.
conversation though. That's definitely a
That's
conversation.
different. Like women that's trying to have fun. Oh yeah, for sure.
that's true.
For sure. Women that's trying to have fun getting on the plane. Like, let's go have a ball. Let's do this. Like, let's do that.
Right.
That's not.
I mean, I feel you, but I'm also gonna say, like, I feel like in your situation, and this goes back to my point earlier, what I was saying, like, if you don't keep this up, like, I feel like you just set the what you just did was set the precedent for y'all relationship. Like, okay, man, this man is like, he's spontaneous. He plans things.
He really want me.
He really want me.
So he really want me.
Hey, so don't stop that. You can't stop that.
Just got back from Jamaica, man.
Hey, yo, though, let me ask y'all something, though. So we talking about different things to spice up that you've done to spice up your relationship or your dating life. What are some things that your partner has done that have kind of impressed you and made you think, man, this really gave me like, nice little kick. I really appreciate this, that you're excited for her to keep doing. What are some of those things?
Man, my girl is incredible with surprises. My girl threw me the most, not my girl, my fiance, but at the time she was my girl. That's what I'm thinking about. My girl, at the time she was my girl. She threw me the most amazing surprise birthday party.
Yes, she sure did.
Yeah, she sure did.
Bro, it was crazy.
Sure did.
Like, I'm not even one to, I don't even think I really, at that point, I don't even think I really enjoyed surprises or thought I enjoyed surprises.
Right.
I really enjoy surprises. Having experienced that, my girl, Candace is awesome at presenting the element of surprise, and for me, that was a great way to spice up the relationship. I was like, damn, man, like, nobody does this for me. And that goes back to what you were saying about the women, about Chanel. She was like, man, nobody ever did this for me.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about Candace. When I'm like, man, like, women have been thoughtful and been kind and done their part, but never to that extent, and there's there's other times where she just surprised me with other things at the house, but that was the biggest thing that I could think of right now. That party.
Because she had to orchestrate all that shit.
She orchestrated everything behind. You were out of town. She got you in town. Nothing against anybody else that was there, but like her understanding the relationship that we have, tying you in, knowing you're across the country, getting my family involved, all of my friends. Then just like she got the crib. It was like the decorations, food, the chef.
This is like a year in, I think.
We were probably a little over a year in. Of officially being one. So that was one thing that she did to really spice up the relationship, and she's kept that tradition going in some aspect in our relationship all the time. So I really appreciate
that's hella thoughtful.
My woman. Man, it was like one of the most thoughtful things.
I remember there was a whole slumber party thing. Everything, games.
We played wild out games. Play wild out games.
You realize how much you actually need a woman to kind of contribute to the spice in that regard.
Absolutely.
Right? So instead of saying like, hey, this is all on me, because like I know you just said, Jelon, hey, this is what you started, so this you got to keep up. Right? But sometimes you probably like, okay, I know I know I got to keep up, but like I still want you to actually.
For sure.
And then things like that kind of help.
For sure. I also think that like, I don't think as men, if we like, I got that from Candace, I'm not like expecting surprises.
Nah.
I'm not. To be honest, the fact that she did that, like she good for like 7-8 years. You know what I mean?
The statute of limitations.
You feel what I'm saying? Like I don't need something like that every year. But the fact that she was thoughtful enough to do that and get everyone involved, man, it was such a special moment, man. Something that I will never forget.
So I'm gonna ask you guys, right? When the relationship gets spicy, and not in a positive way, when it gets spicy, and tensions are high in the relationship, and you need to ease the mood. Like how do you ease the mood when you may be upset with each other, or tensions is high?
Man, that's so hard because it's so hard because you're such in an emotional state. And right now, at this very moment, I can tell you what I would do or what I think I'd do.
Right.
And it's going to be a logical, rational thing because I can think clearly and my emotions aren't in a place where I'm so fiery or just disturbed or bothered. But in those moments, man, it changes from situation to situation as far as how to patch things up. But how to navigate those situations, I try to breathe. That's crazy to sound.
That's not crazy at all. It's not crazy at all.
As cliche as it sounds, but I try to like slow down and breathe.
Yep.
And just try to talk my way through things.
Your breath is important, bro.
And try to, as best as I can. I'm not perfect. I try to be a bigger person, and I try to understand that, hey, it's us against the problem, not us against each other. There's a problem here, and we got to figure that out. So I don't really care to be right, and try to. I think when you try to prove that you're right, you just add flame to the fire, right? When you try to attack the problem, it diffuses the fire. It diffuses the problem, and I try to lean into that. It's extremely hard right now, though, to tell you that. Honestly, like one thing. So I couldn't even tell you that, but I know, in the past I've leaned into the book, right? If I couldn't get the words or I couldn't just bring myself to say anything positive in that moment, I would just lean into the book. And it may take me a couple of hours, but I'll lean into the book and say, yo, you got to read this, because then I can really tell you how I feel, and you get to not hear my tone of voice. You don't get to hear the anger. You don't get to hear the fluctuation in tone. You just see words. And then you can make that your own interpretation from that. And I think that helps because she knows I took the time to actually think this through and write this down, because she knows I don't want to get into no screaming match.
You be using exclamation points in the book?
All that.
Yeah.
Do you?
Exclamation points.
I mean, you got to hear it.
Underlines.
Yeah.
Quotations.
I really didn't
circles,
like this.
All those things. But it's tough, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
No, it's real tough, but just adding to what Duke said about breathing, I think over the past year, I've done a really good job of taking my time and even asking for time. Like, hey, babe, let me get some time to respond to this. Because I need to make sure that I respond in the right way. And I don't want to say the wrong thing. And I will be vocal about that, you know? And at first it was like, what do you mean you need time to respond? But over time, over the past years, it's been like, okay, well, that's his process.
Yeah.
You know? And I understand he's an impulsive dude. I think sometimes when our emotions get involved, we're all impulsive. You know what I'm saying? We're just reacting, you know? And sometimes you just, that shit is crazy. You know, you end up splattering all over somebody. And when you have the time to breathe and take your time, you can really deliver your message the right way and get it across the right way without hurting someone's feelings. Because it's very easy to hurt someone that you love's feelings in that moment because you want to just get your point out.
Yeah.
You see how you say you splatter all over
Splatter.
somebody? It's an acronym called SHARP. It's not like past tense of, you know, shit, but SHARP. Say hurtful and remorseful things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's real. And you do that when you're in the heat of the moment, you know? So the heat, and especially like if you guys are in a relationship, no one's going anywhere, you know? So like, what's the rush to get it out the way? Take your time. If that's your partner, take your time, man. It's not, you're not, yo, I'm sleeping with you.
That's my logic, bro.
I'm sleeping with you. Give me a minute to, let me collect my thoughts.
Forever's a long time.
It's a long time, man.
Yeah.
And so like, let's make sure we're doing it right.
Wow, that's crazy. Because like, that's something that I had to work on, big time. You know, I've always told, we've gotten in like heated discussions before, and my whole thing used to be, as long as she keep coming at me, I'm gonna keep going. I always tell her this. I used to tell her this all the time. I said, "You're gonna cry before me." I say that a lot. You're gonna cry before me. I promise you're gonna cry before me.
Such a competitive mindset.
Savage.
That's such a competitive mindset, which is
And we joke about it now, but I literally told her, "Hey, listen, you could do this, but I promise you on everything, you're gonna start crying and you're gonna quit this before me because I'm willing to go further than you." And what it did is put me in a mode where I was gonna say anything hurtful in response to what she said.
Yep.
You know, but
Where'd that come from? Why'd you feel like you had to say that?
it came.
I'm curious.
It came from not knowing how to control my emotion. It came from feeling like not knowing how to deal with a bruised ego. You know, because like the first thing we do when somebody bruises our ego is try to bruise back.
Yep.
You know, but now it's more so understanding, oh, you tried to bruise my ego, I'm gonna let you slide with that. That shit didn't work. But I understand why, so we're gonna work through this. Right? I understand.
Experience.
So it's a little, so it's a process. It's a process you gotta go through. This process I've gone through, talking with you guys.
Yep.
Having those conversations and say, yo, how did you deal with this? Or are you going through this too? Or have you done with this? Talking with her, right? Because we got argue and then we talk about it. Hey, what are some things we've done? And have those open discussions. But it used to be like that though. But now it's more like, what can I do? What can we do to diffuse the situation? So if it's her talking to me with a tone that I'm not comfortable with, I'll call that out. Hey, if you want to solve something, let's fix that.
All right, guys, I'm gonna ask you the question that everybody wants to know about. Sex. How do you keep your sex drive high for and with your partner? It's not, you got multiple years in.
Yeah.
So when it comes to just the sex, how you keep it spicy in the bedroom, is just the same thing over and over. She know all your, cause she know all your moves.
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 You know,
Yeah.
she be like, we drunk tonight. I know what this is gonna be. So like, how y'all keep it spicy? What do y'all do?
I think you have to go back to the mental like mindset mode of being single sometimes.
Yes.
You know, like think about things that you would have done when you were single and apply that same pressure within your relationship. So I'm just gonna throw this out there. If one day you decide, hey, we're gonna watch some porn to get it cracking, do that.
That's what you are.
That's what.
Because that's what you would have did.
Because that's what you would have did when you were single. That's what you. And I think once we enter the relationship, we lose sight of like who we were, because a lot of times we have to let go of who we were to progress in the relationship, right?
Facts.
But there's certain things that you gotta hold on to keep the relationship alive, thriving, and spicy. You know what I'm saying? So for my advice to all the YGs listening to us out here, listening and viewing, is think about the things that you would have done when you were single, and maybe not necessarily like the random wild shit that you would do with like the various women that you were engaging with, right? Like not just like your partner. Think about like what you would have done. Like, man, if I met, all right, man, I'm just gonna take it there, man. If I met, no, I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say
I don't know where he's gonna go, but I don't know where he's gonna go with. Okay.
No, I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that one. Nah, I'm chill.
But not like he said, man. I think thinking about how you felt about your partner when you first met them, right? And when you were single, there was just a physical attraction that you had about your partner, and leaning into that. And then also, Jalon mentioned it, or I don't know which one of y'all mentioned it earlier, as far as always being presentable, right, throughout your relationship, you know. And I think that's really important, because you want to be physically attracted to your person. So certain shirts I'm wearing, certain pants I'm wearing, you know, making sure like I'm actually looking good for her at the house, making sure that she's wearing certain things at the house that's going to arouse me, right? Because it's different. It's different when you just meet someone. It's different. You only see them in one way: sexy, fine, makeup, clothes that accentuate, right? You only see them in one way. But when you live with someone over a long period of time, you see them in all ways. So you see flaws. Flaws don't make us want to have sex more, right? So we have to figure out, with those flaws, right, with those imperfections, with this person, I'm waking up to see this person every day, and there's like a term that I forget what it's called, but it's a scientific term that once we get a hold of something, it becomes less exciting to us. That's a real thing. You get $1 million. If you have it for 3-4 years, you're like, all right, it's not that exciting anymore. You got a new Benz, you get it for 3 years, not that exciting. You get a new Rolex. This is how it is with people as well. So the baddest chick on Instagram that you dating, you know, or whoever you think right now, because you don't have them, it's like, oh, X, Y, Z, right? But once you have them, then you got to deal with other things. Family, arguments, right? All these things. So you got to traumas, all these things, right? So then you have to lead into, okay, amongst all those things, right? What am I attracted to this person about? Are we having these conversations? You got to talk about sex. Sex is something you got to talk about. If you don't talk about sex, you're probably not going to sustain a relationship. You got to talk about sex.
About sex.
So I got to like learn I forget what I was listening to. It was somebody was talking about this too, but you got to learn your partner, see what your partner likes. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to be open to criticism. And change things that your partner doesn't like. Change things about yourself, you know? And then you got to voice what you like, you know? And I think that the way you keep your relationship spicy is you don't run away from the conversation of sex. And I think a lot of people feel like it's taboo to talk about sex with their partner, because everyone for some reason thinks that we're all supposed to have it figured out, but we don't. So talking about sex and being intentional with sex, and actually, you know, being like almost telling yourself in your mind, hey, yo, like I'm gonna make sure in this next 7 days, I gotta get it in. You know, and not just think it's gonna happen, because it won't happen if you just think you just like going with emotion.
And I just was gonna say, just to add to that, is like just about learning your partner. It's a constant learning process, and like kind of taking a step away from sex. Like I've known my dad for 33 years, right? He's the longest person I've ever known in my life, right? And I'm still learning something new about him every day. There's something that I'm like, damn, I didn't realize that about my dad. So if that's happening within this father-son dynamic, it's definitely going to exist in the dynamic between you and your woman, or a man and a woman and his man, or her man, excuse me. You know, so like constantly seek to learn and figure out what your partner, because how you enter the relationship or what you like 2 years ago may have evolved to something else.
Yeah.
You may like something else now, or that may not, that trick that you used to do may not work on her no more.
Fact.
Or the trick that she used to do on you, it don't hit the same.
The trick no more.
It don't hit the same.
You know?
You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, I think one of the most spicy elements to a relationship, bro, is, it's gonna sound very cliche, but it's friendship. And I say friendship in the sense of, like, your friends, you constantly allow your friends to evolve, and it's just like, oh nah, that's what they like now. This is what they on now. This is what they doing now. And if you have that friendship with your partner, it just keeps that space open to where it's like, I can talk about your past, and I'm now able to learn you more, because now that makes sense to why you do this, or that makes sense to why you like this, rather than holding it against them, because we do that a lot in relationships. You hear about something in the past, you're able to connect to a dot, and it's like, oh, that's why you like that, rather than, oh, that is why you like that. And those are two totally different reactions. And a lot of times when we're in relationships, we hold this position of ownership. And instead of holding that position of ownership, you should hold a position of friendship. Like, I'm allowed to be here, not I have to be here. And the communication and the conversations change, because that's when you could more spontaneously talk about sex. Like, man, you know what's crazy? Like, but you, hey, the way you was looking really had me feeling like this.
Yep.
Because like now I'm talking to like not only my friend, but it's my lover too. So she knows what I'm talking about. And like, honestly, I'm spontaneous. I'm a sexter. Like,
I'm a sexter.
I'm a sexter. Don't go through me and my girl threads. You're gonna see all the emojis. Okay. Okay. Because it's like you said, what would you do if you were single? I want my girl to still feel that same thrill of being sought after as a single woman in a relationship.
Hella purple emojis, hella tongues,
you.
hella wet
tongues,
marks,
hella splashes,
I like purple devils.
all of that. You know, I
All
throw
of
the
that,
peach in there. You know, all of that stuff. And I think it's super important to just allow your woman to constantly feel sexy. And women, it's super important to allow your man to constantly feel like he's a man.
Yeah.
You know, but because we're in a relationship, we can't be lying, because like that can take a toll as the relationship goes on. So that's where the element of friendship is extremely important. But like, nah, man, I'm after my girl.
Same.
I'll be after her.
Same.
But I don't know. I don't think friendship makes me more aroused. You know, I've always felt like, I feel like the friendship aspect of it has nothing to do with, for me at least, has nothing to do with like why I'm aroused, right? Because I'm really aroused because like you fine, you sexy, we got an intimate connection here, right? I think the friendship element I think that can mess things up.
I'm gonna ask you, do you
If
think,
you understand what I'm saying.
Do you think friendship, because the reason why I say friendship is friendship for me personally, and I think for anybody, it creates another level of openness.
Right.
Because if your partner only operates as your partner, they're not telling you what they liked. They're gonna tell you what they like that you do. They're not telling you what they liked. They're not telling you what worked. They're not telling you what works. They're gonna be like, let me figure out how to just like what they do for me. So friendship is like, nah, I like that you do that, but I like when you do that when you add it with this, because I have experienced this before and that was a thing. That doesn't, me personally.
Right.
Like,
So you're saying there's like another level of vulnerability that you get from friendship.
yes.
Okay.
100%. Like,
Okay.
being my friend doesn't turn me on. No.
Right.
Not being my friend, but me being able to know you beyond just the person that loves me and the person that I love as a friend is really what really gets me going, because now I have a relationship with you that I don't have with anybody else.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel what you're saying though.
You know?
The friendship thing can almost make it be like just like a.
We just good.
We
just
good.
hang out.
We
Yeah.
good.
Nah.
Yeah.
Don't
It
call me
can- it can
bestie
do
on the
that.
internet.
It can do that.
Yeah.
It can do that.
It can do that though.
It can do that.
It can do that if you let it.
Like you could love someone and you say, yo, like we friends, we do everything together.
Yep.
You know, but then sometimes you lose that mysteriousness about the person.
That spice.
That spice about the person that you're saying, like, yo, the fact that I don't know everything about you, that you haven't told me everything, kind of is attractive to me because I feel like
I can still get more.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's an element.
Yeah,
But I understand his element.
Me
though,
too.
about-
No, and I understand both of you. I understand
Yeah.
both of you for sure.
I understand all that. It's just if we look at human beings as people who evolve rather than who we chose, we're gonna always want any extra element that we can possibly get. We're gonna always want. I don't think you look at your girl today and be like, you're locked in as this person.
No.
Are you locked in as my girl? Because, like, for example, today your girl's a fitness coach. What if she wanted to be a politician in 15 years? Like, just learning those aspirations about your partner comes through friendship. That's not just like a relationship thing
Yeah,
only.
got you.
You know, like this fool Omar changes what he like every couple of years.
That's real.
Like, and if him and Candace didn't have a friendship, that wouldn't be it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be it. You know, she rolls with the punches with you, and I think it's easier as well too, because honestly, man, I know we running over time. We hella long right now. One thing,
Are we hella long? Does it seem
yeah,
like?
we running hella long. We having a real conversation right now. One thing I never really believed in for real, honestly, and then it was unconditional love.
Right.
You said one thing you didn't believe in?
Nah, I never believed in it.
Same.
I never believed in it. I never believed in unconditional love. I never believed that I could love somebody without conditions. I thought you had to be a certain way in order for me to love you. And if you operated outside of the conditions that we created and that we agreed upon, I could no longer love you. So in this relationship, I love how that's so confusing to you. That's
Yeah,
a
'cause,
beautiful
like, the
thing
truth-
for
Because
you.
I'm thinking
I'm
about
talking about-
family right now.
No. But there is unconditional love as far as like the only unconditional love you're gonna get is from your mom probably.
That's
Like,
the only.
That's the only.
That's what I'm thinking about.
yeah.
right?
But as far as from an intimate.
What I'm talking about when
partner-
I say
I hear
I
you.
didn't believe in unconditional, I mean me. Like, I actually don't even think it's a certain level that you have to tap into as a man to even start to even feel like it's possible. Because I know a man, if his son steal from him enough, I could love him from a distance. He don't need to come around, none of that. But I got to a point in my relationship to where I'm just like, yo, I had to take a step back. And I was like, we like what we like about somebody, and when we see something different, we want to change it to go back to what we thought it was or what it should be, rather than just looking at the person and just like, man, this is who they are, and this is who I love. I love them as is, and like that's such a special place to be. That's why I like that you got confused, because I don't think you love like that, bro. I really think you love like, that's just what they are. Like, I love them.
I do.
I've never felt that way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never felt that way. I've always loved with conditions, and this relationship is the first relationship that is teaching me, not only just with her, but just with people in general, to just be like, yo, love does not have to come with conditions all the time.
Yeah.
And it's a very, very tough concept, because you know when somebody hurts you, you're like, oh, okay, cool. I don't gotta be in that space no more.
Yeah, but that's the part that's the part that's important, right? Love is unconditional, not in the sense that this person's different, right? You can love someone that's just different. That's just who he is, or she. That's how she is, right? Well, loving someone who hurts you, who's repetitively doing something wrong to you, right? The whole dynamic of our relationship is because you make me feel good.
Yeah.
You make me feel safe. I trust you. The minute you start doing things that contradict those things, the love will start to wither away.
Yeah.
And then eventually be gone.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's loving with conditions.
And that's conditional love.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. But if you listen to how selfish we are when we think like that. You make me feel good. So now that you are choosing to do this, you are not making me feel good anymore.
Yeah.
I don't like the decisions that you're making.
Yeah.
And it's like, I had to sit back and I think about like that language. And I was just like, that's a very, very selfish way to operate in life. Because I didn't like something, because I didn't like the way something made me feel, and I made a decision to love you. Why can't I be beyond that?
Yeah. Man, I don't know if I ever told y'all, but man, y'all be kicking game, bro. Hey, the shit is proper, fam.
I said we be kicking game.
Y'all be
man.
kicking game, dog.
I said we be kicking
I
game,
I
dog.
really enjoy listening to y'all.
Hey, we
man.
really went there right now.
Hey, man,
Yeah.
look, check this out, y'all, man. We out of time. Y'all have anything left to say?
Man, go ahead, close this out, bro.
We out of time, but I want to thank you guys for tuning in with us and supporting us. and just rocking with us for the last couple of seasons. We see all the comments. We appreciate all the comments. We see all the love. We see all the feedback we've been getting, and we just want to say, man, we are super grateful, y'all. So just continue to rock with us, guys. Make sure you guys are following us on all streaming platforms, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, of course, at Nice and Neat the podcast. And also make sure you're following us individually. Follow Jalon on Instagram at just.jalon, Omar at omar.bowden, and myself at Duke. Once again, man, we just appreciate you guys, and we got a lot of love and a lot of gratitude. Until next time, guys, I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jalon. This is another episode of Nice and Neat, and that's that on that.
I'll be
Peace.
the one to take the risk to go and get them bands. I'll be the one to never sit and go and make a plan. Knowing my mother getting older, now I don't got no time. Gotta keep a couple for the road, the rest get left behind. Yeah. To the 100.